Well, here we are again, another Blackline Mig 120. If you see my first video, you know what the issue was, blah blah blah, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Gotta give Blackline credit, they do package these very well. The outer carton is very heavy gauge cardboard, and the base and the top are of actually 1/2 inch plywood. You know, very robust, keeps it all together nicely. Getting into it? Well, not always so easy. First off, we have the glass filter. This will be for the included mask. We'll just put that to one side for now. Here we have your run-of-the-mill instruction booklet, or actually piece of folded paper. You know, I'm old enough to remember the days when you actually used to get a manual when you bought shit. So you get a few basic accessories. You have a replacement shroud. Also you will find a couple of spare tips. There's a 0.8mm and a 0.6. And of course, there's also one in the gun itself, which I think is a 0.6, but I'll have to check on that. And of course, no hobby welder would be complete without the obligatory wire brush with the chipping hammer on the other side. And of course, there's the handle of the cheesy plastic mask that you get with these things. Now, these will get you by in a push. I mean, you can use them, but honest to God, if you're going to do any whatsoever, spend a little bit extra money and get yourself a reasonable quality full face mask. Anyway, we're not here to look at cheap masks. Let's get into the welder. A little bit of deja vu, but anyway, there we have it. The welder comes with just your most basic ground clamp. You're not going to get anything exceptional at this price range, but it's functional, and if it does break, or when it breaks, it's easy enough to replace. Something I did like about these welders when I did the first review was the actual shape and the feel of the gun. Now, some people will say, oh well, you know, it's a gun, whatever, but you're going to be using this thing, so it may as well be comfortable in your hand. Another positive was the switch. Now, something which most people or many people might just disregard, the quality of the switch really makes a difference, because if you're wearing gloves, you want to feel that positive action, and these guns do have a nice positive action. And finally, we have the standard 220 240 volt 13 amp UK spec plug. So let's get this thing open and take a look inside. So, I mean, it's a MIG welder, what is there to say? As before, this is a gasless one. It only takes the flux coated wire, so there are no bottles of anything to go with, no regulators. So let's get some wire into it and fire this one up. As before, this is just a 0.4 kilogram, just under a pound spool of 0.8 wire. So I'm just feeding a little through by hand because I just want to feel how smoothly it runs through the gun. Some of the cheaper machines, you know, they don't always have a smooth run, and a smooth run is essential to producing a good quality weld. And honestly, I can feel it here. The wire just feeds through very, very nicely. So at this point, it's obviously feeding fine by hand. So let's hit the power and use the gun to feed it the rest of the way. And as you can see, it has a nice smooth delivery, which is essential. As I'd assumed, the gun was fitted with the 0.6mm tip. So I'm just going to switch it out for the supplied 0.8mm. Well, here we go. One old piece of steel cleaned off and one welding mask. Because this is the first time I've actually used this welder, what I'll do is leave about 1.5 inches of wire. Mainly because I don't know how quickly this will feed at the given setting, so I just don't want it to burn back into the tip. Yes, just making sure the gun is dead. Really don't want any surprises this time. And as you can see, it has a nice smooth delivery, which is essential. Even in a budget welder, you need a nice smooth feed. Oh, fuck. Well, at this point, I really don't know what to say. Two welders, both with the same issue. I think that's it for Blackline.
You've got to be kidding.
So, this is actually the first Blackline product that I've ever purchased. I have seen them in a couple of locations, but I've never paid them close attention. Now, I know this is the budget end of the market, so you do expect a failure rate. I'm not entirely sure what that should be, but, well, you do expect a failure rate. However, you don't expect two in a row to have exactly the same issue straight out of the box. So, for me, that's basically it for Blackline products. I'm really not in any hurry to try another one. I will be looking at a different brand of welder. It's probably something like a Clark from Machine Mart or Wolf. I know a couple of people who have purchased these and they've been more than happy with them, so this may be an option. As for recommendations, well, obviously, I wouldn't recommend this welder to anyone. So if you have had a good experience with one of these Blackline products, drop a line in the comments section. I would like to hear. But I'm old school, once bitten, twice shy, therefore I won't be testing any of the Blackline products.